All right, so I think the stream thinking about things ready to go though. So hello everybody, Mega ZardX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting podcast episode. That being my ZardCast episode 110. And goodness, it's been quite a busy past couple of weeks, if I had to do say so myself, personally speaking, as well as with Gamescom and stuff happening lately. We had some Nintendo Directs and stuff focusing on Kirby Air Ride, which I found that funny because I was talking about the tease with Sakurai in the last episode. Lo and behold, not even a day later, I got the news of a confirmation of a Direct, so we got to give our thoughts on that. And a lot of interesting other stuff, some things that is a little weird and stuff with some announcements at Gamescom. Something that got me fired up. That gosh dang it, I told each and every one of y'all that was listening to this show in the last episode, we should have gotten that stinking game by this point though, and we still haven't. Or not game system, should I say? And I'll get to that here in a bit though. But Steven, how's it going, man?
Going good. Regarding that game system, there's actually some kind of emergency news that happened about it.
Oh shoot! Well, put a pin in that.
We'll get to it
When we
we'll get
get to it, we'll
we'll,
get to it because that would be news
I
to
just
me.
don't
Because
want to
I don't think I've
forget.
seen that. I'll ask you about it because I'll go on my big long tangent and then it'll spark up your thing though. Because that would be news to me, and I've been trying to stay in the loop on that though.
Yeah.
But shoot. But yeah, no, there's a good list of topics that we got to go through here and talk about tonight though. So it should be a fun little thing. And oh shoot, we even have a new quote unquote Switch 2 release with Kirby and the what was it? Kirby and the Forgotten Land with Starcross World 2. So I know you've been playing that,
I
so we got to talk
Yeah,
about that
I'd say
too.
that counts. I wouldn't say that's a quote unquote. Like it's a Nintendo first party game. It's a DLC obvi. Like I kind of just categorize it as a DLC, but it's still a new release. Like it's the same way we would talk about Mario Kart DLC if it came out.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going for though. Not like it's a brand new, like a whole new release, like a Donkey Kong Bonanza, but still
Well,
DLC enough warrants. That's what I was kind of getting at.
I kind of consider it similar to what Star Allies got post launch, because Kirby Star Allies it got like all of those Dream Friends, and then it also got the harder arena and like the new mode where this game kind of Forgotten Land. This kind of is the DLC expansion that's gonna lead into the next game. Like we'll get this. This is what they've kind of been working on for Switch Two. Just kind of I guess they kind of get a hand of the performance of the console, and then test out for the Kirby game that will inevitably be coming to Switch Two. That'll probably be a sequel to Forgotten Land.
Yeah.
I guess I could talk about it real quick, huh?
Ho ho ho
Because
ho
you didn't
ho
play
ho
it, or
hold
no,
up.
no,
Hold
no.
up. No. I hadn't done as many episodes as we done this pod, Steven. I hadn't even done the transition. That was just a preview of everything that is to come.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Either way, a lot of cool stuff coming out. I think me and you have been kind of playing different games recently. Me and you haven't really played the same games recently, mostly because I've been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza for the last month.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and get this thing officially started, though. I guess
I
we
gotcha.
bleeded over from preview. All right. So without any further ado, there's not a pop culture segment, so we're gonna skip that segment. So now we're gonna jump on over into what we've been playing. All right, you were getting way ahead of me over there, Steven, but
Yeah,
whatever.
probably.
You've been eager. All right, so we've been alluding to this Kirby thing though, so we'll talk about that because I know you picked this game up, and I know it's like it wasn't a really long game. It was like what 5 to 6 hours is what you said to get through that DLC. Was that correct?
I would say I would say definitely about 5 to 6 hours on the DLC, and that's you know, considering, I kind of took my time a bit and I had to go through some of the levels over again to get certain collectibles. So I would say, for the average person, they're probably going to be spending 4 hours on this DLC. But if you're actually going to collect everything, you can maybe spend a solid 7 to 8 hours. And and I went back to the game and I realized like every world has. I told you the other day that every world has 6 levels. Every world actually has 4 levels. Every world has 4 levels and one boss, and then the last world has 5 levels and one boss. So you technically get 3 worlds worth of levels.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
like they do reuse assets from the main game, but like it's not that bad of a problem. Like I would they kind of it basically you'll start off the level the same way you usually would, but then you kind of go like an alternate path. Like there's the mall level. Well, you played a little bit of the game. So there's the mall level, and instead of going through the entrance of the mall, you kind of go through a side entrance of the mall. And then you go kind of through a whole nother
Oh,
level. And
okay.
like, you kind of go back and forth onto the main path and off of the main path. It's kind of like I'd say like a remix version, which I've seen a couple people kind of expressing like disappointment in the DLC, but I don't know. I really liked it.
Wait,
It's not.
so you're saying like with the mall level, because I'm familiar with that. You're saying with the mall level, you said obviously in the main story you kind of go in through the front and then you go up them escalators. I remember that point of the game though. But you're saying with the DLC you enter through the side, so there's some parts of that mall that wasn't there in the main
Yeah.
game. But you said do you go back on the main path that you actually experienced in the main
Well,
game for a little bit and
one.
then go
Well,
back to the
yeah.
side? Is that what you're saying?
Well, like once in a while you'll see the main level as you're going through the new path.
Oh, you'll see it, but you won't actually be on it.
Yeah, and then there's
Oh, okay.
obviously new mouthful modes. You slide down these kind of like like Plessy from Mario 3D World, like this thing that you ride.
Uh huh.
You have a similar thing to that with the Scion mouth, and then you can also climb walls and stick onto them with the gear mouth. And then you have Spring Mario basically with the spring mouth. So
Okay.
those are really fun new mouthful modes to use. And the levels themselves, like I said, are pretty fun. They look amazing because of like new particle effects that they're able to do on Switch 2.
Yeah. So
And also
how's that 60 FPS holding up in
it's
comparison to that
fucking
30?
it's amazing. It's beautiful. I can't go back to the game in 30 FPS. I can't go back to 30 FPS. And it doesn't even feel all that jarring compared to the original game. It's not like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, God, that game ran at like fucking 25 FPS. Tears of the Kingdom, oh my god. Tears of the
Yeah.
Kingdom at
No, it's really
smooth
hard to
60
go
is
back to play
crazy.
those two games.
But like
Mm.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I could see myself going back to the original if I absolutely had to, because like it's still the same game. But like just for a repeat playthrough, it makes it so much easier to go back. 1440p plus 60 FPS. The game was already very beautiful and had an amazing art style, but now I can just appreciate that more.
Now, quick question, because I should
Yeah.
have mentioned this to you before you downloaded the update for the DLC though. But
Mhm.
have you tried playing Kirby and the Forgotten Land before you downloaded the DLC, but on the Switch too?
Not really, but that's because
Mm.
it would be the same Zard.
It should be. I was just kind of curious just to see if it was. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was a stable 30 even on the Switch One. I was just kind of
It was
curious.
it was a rock solid 30 on Switch 1, but that's only because it had some kind of trickery. Basically, it's hard coded into the game, so it's still kind of like this on the Switch 2 edition. There are enemies that have a halved frame rate in the background. So like in the original game,
I
if
remember
you're,
that.
like, a Waddle Dee in the background will be running at 15 FPS while the game's running at 30 FPS.
Wait, so do you still
Very
have
sim
that issue with the Switch 2 version? Because I do remember that now that you brought that up.
Okay, kind of, but like it's a lot better because instead of them running at 15 FPS, they run at 30 FPS, which, is a lot less of a problem.
Hmm. Okay.
If you're like think of it like this, something that's far like and I do repeat far in the distance running at 30 FPS is a lot less jarring than something running at 15 FPS pretty close to you.
Yeah, because I do remember that in the original game, and I was like, oh, okay, they're kind of doing that just because a lot's going on, and you don't really need to worry about the super fine details of something that's far out in the
Yeah.
distance, though. So it wasn't like crazy in terms of looking at something like that. But if you were just trying to look off in the distance to see that, it was a little bit jarring. But like
And
what you
hey,
say, hey, 30 is gonna be better than like 15 or 20. But yeah.
and they did what they can because that game has extremely big like environments and landscapes that you go through. Like the city area you start off in is a really beautiful area. and doesn't really have that much poppin' or anything. And also, this was kind of like this on the Switch 1 version, so it's really not different here, but the load times have always been really fast.
Okay.
The game just has extremely like going out of a level is basically instant. Like you just press exit level, oh, you're out of the level. That quick.
All
And
right.
the original game was just like that. There's obviously more. I'm not gonna go in like the bulk of the DLC is like spoiler stuff and like stuff like that. It's obviously Kirby isn't really a story heavy series, but it always is there. Um, it provides some fun answers, the story stuff from the main game that I liked, and it also introduces, Kirby games are all about their boss rush arenas. It introduces a new difficulty to the Ultimate Cup,
Hmm.
which is, I'll be honest, I played it and I gave up. I came back to it the next day.
Oh, so was it just that challenging where it's like, you know what,
It
I gotta
is
put this thing down.
it is genuinely difficult to beat that fucking thing without any amiibos.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I kind of had to cheese it by using a specific copy ability that's like no like commonly known as the best one. I was trying to do it with hammer and I gave up because I just could not do that much. I just kept getting hit by the final boss.
Hmm.
It's honestly like quite difficult for a Kirby game standard. But that's all I'm going to go over.
Okay.
60 FPS. 60 FPS is definitely the main upgrade, but the new levels and the new boss are really fun as well.
All right.
I personally just wish that there was at least a couple original levels and they weren't all just reused assets
Oh, so all
levels.
of it's okay, okay.
Well, all of it, you're basically going to an alternate version of different levels from the main game. Yes.
Okay. I was thinking the way how they had all like that star related stuff, I was thinking at least one of the worlds was like almost completely
Oh
unique,
wait,
but I guess that's not the case, but whatever.
sorry, 1 second. I'm having an issue with my headphones. Just give me a second.
Okay. Now while he's sorting that out, I was just also gonna say
But
uh
wait, sorry.
yeah, so
Repeat
I
what you
got you.
just said.
Yeah, so I was just basically saying that I was thinking when I was seeing the trailer and stuff, like yes, I could tell you were going through and revisiting like some of the original spots in like World 1 of the base game. But I was thinking, hey, maybe at least one of the worlds was going to be completely unique and not necessarily reused like the way how you're describing it.
Well, it's every single world you go back to 2 levels from it. So 2 levels from World 1, 2 levels from World 2, etc.
Okay, okay. So and this is the last little question I have for you, and then we'll
Yeah.
kind of move on to any other games we've been playing. But in terms of StarCraft's World, we all know that this was like what $20 as a DLC, add-on. Essentially, is what it is. But for somebody that never played Kirby in the Forgotten Land, could you see or recommend this as them buying the Switch 2 edition of this game for $80, which is the same MSRP as Mario Kart World?
Yes, because you have to view it as what it is, a DLC pack. Like, yes, it's kind of scummy that Nintendo is bundling the DLC pack in with actual important performance patches, but like, that's how it is. And for what it is, yes, I think it is a good package because remember, I've told you about this. I have a lot of issues with Kirby Star Allies. Okay? We're not going to get into that here. But one of my main issues with Kirby Star Allies is that it does not nearly have enough content to justify a $60 price tag.
Even with all
It has
those
a
free updates that it got throughout like the course of I don't know how long it was, but it
just
was like
maybe.
it had a
It was a
ton of
year.
updates.
No, it was like 3 different updates. But yes, they added a decent amount of content. I would say now it's probably worth like get it on a sale for like $40. It's good because now it's basically got the same amount of content as like Planet Robobot, and Planet Robobot had a good amount of content. So I'm content with the amount of content that Star Allies Net has. After all, it's DLC. It's fine. Um, but Forgotten Land already had that plus more because you have the main campaign, and then you kind of have like a side mode where you go through a truncated like hour-long version of the main campaign. Kind of like I don't know if you didn't. I was gonna say I can't really compare it because you haven't played that many Kirby games. Oh, you played Star Allies, right?
Yeah, I played through Star Allies, finished the
You
game.
know the guest. Did you play the guest star mode where you go in as and play as one of the Dream Friends
I
and play with
I,
their?
I think I might have dabbled with it just a little bit, but didn't do a
It's
whole
kind
bunch
of
of it.
it's basically that where once you beat the main game, you go through it again in like a more compact version of the main story, and you fight harder bosses and a new boss at the very end. And then on top of all of that, you now have Star Cross World, which Star Cross World isn't necessarily post game. You unlock Star Cross World after you beat the first world, so it's more of like Ice Side mode.
Okay.
Which I probably should have mentioned that first. That Star Cross World is not post game. You unlock it early on.
Oh, so you could do it along the way if somebody was like brand new playing this game.
Yes, you can do
Okay.
it along the way, which is I think it's cool. I think that you'll get the best experience out of this game playing it on the Switch 2 edition, playing these levels little by little.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's
I'll,
not.
I'll
Oh, go, what?
I was just gonna say I'll leave it there. It is definitely worth the price of admission, in my opinion.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad. So yeah. So I feel like if you're one of those people that have the game and you really love it, hey, $20, that ain't nothing. But if you're somebody brand new, I mean, you got to pick and choose your battles whether or not you want that little extra bit of content for the 20, or if you want a better performing game, they either pick up the Switch version or the Switch 2 version. I guess it's all
Well,
up to you. But
the issue is that it's a single player game. So if you've already beaten the single player, there's no reason to buy it just for the performance.
well, yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's basically if you want to play new content, then you're also going to get the
yes,
performance in addition. Unless you're just one of those people that really love the heck out of this game and you just really love playing through it over and over. Well, I doubt that's kind of few and
yeah.
far between unless you're just the absolute diehardest Kirby fan.
And listen, I am. I'll admit I am a pretty diehard Kirby fan, so I was gonna buy this no matter what. But let's just say, like, I guarantee there's a lot of people that won't pick this up simply because they've already played Forgotten Land. They'll just wait for the Switch 2 Kirby game,
Yeah.
which I can't necessarily blame them. Like, yeah, like just the Switch 2 Kirby game will definitely be coming, and that'll be an entirely new game they haven't played before, and probably also be 60 FPS.
Okay. All
But
right.
you know what? As a fan of Forgotten Land, I am glad that it got this update and they didn't forget about it. Pun intended.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's all of our thoughts on Starcross Worlds. So, yeah, not too bad. But I guess technically that's officially it in terms of almost every game that they showed off, or at least the stuff that was like Switch One edition stuff that got, or Switch One games that got added new stuff or DLC stuff like
Yeah,
what we got like with
there's
Super
Mario
Mario Party
Party.
Jamboree, and then we have Kirby. So this is technically the last one. So the only other thing from that direct that we hadn't seen that hadn't got our hands on, Kirby Air Riders, which we did get a direct. We'll talk about that later in the show. And then you have Hyrule Warriors, and what's the last one?
Well, we got Metroid Prime
Metro
4 and
Prime
we got
4
Legend ZA,
and
which both
ZA.
of those games are. Well, here's the thing: both of those games are getting actual dedicated Switch 2 editions because they're Switch 1 games. So those are the only other Switch 2 editions we currently know about, Zard.
Yep.
After that, though, no, we are in the dark. We don't even know if they're gonna do more Switch 2 editions. I'd hope so. Because remember in the Switch 2 Direct, they like marketed Switch 2 editions as like a different type of game. Remember they were like, oh, you have Switch 2 games, you have Switch 1 games, and then you have Switch 2 edition games.
I mean, unless they're gonna go back
So
and do something with Tomodachi Life or Rhythm Heaven, kind of highly doubt it. Unless something dumb is with
I
those games.
no,
But
I don't think so, especially because those games will already be new releases in
yeah,
2026.
but that would be like new releases, just like how Metro Prime 4 is and Legend ZA is, because those aren't available on the Switch
Well,
One
yeah,
right now. It'll play. It could play
I
the
just
same
personally
realm
think
as those
that
two, but I don't think they'll go down that route.
Rhythm Heaven, you don't need a Switch 2 edition.
That's why I was saying I don't think they will go down that route. They could pull the same thing
Yeah.
like Metroid Prime 4 and ZA, but I doubt they will.
Yeah, it's entirely art style based. You do not need to do a Switch 2 edition for that game. And then Tomodachi Life, they could probably just do a patch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a. The only issue with these Switch 2 editions is that if you're gonna charge money for them, you significantly decrease the amount of people that are gonna buy it. Like, a lot of people aren't gonna go buy a $10 upgrade to Tomodachi Life of all things. They're just gonna play it. Like, not that many people playing on Nintendo consoles are gonna care too much about high performance. Like,
Yeah.
I do, because I play these games a lot. But, like, casual players aren't gonna want to spend $10 to make the game look slightly better.
Oh yeah, no, I 100%
Which,
agree.
let's be honest, Mario Party Switch 2 edition, which I don't even think we talked about it that much when that came out. Mario Party Jamboree's Switch 2 edition feels like a fucking scam because the visual
Hold up.
upgrades
Did we not
only
really talk
were.
about that? Hold up. I'm really over
I
here
don't
scratching
think
my
we
head.
did.
Gosh dang.
I
It's probably because
genuinely can't
we
remember.
bought it and we never could gather up the whole crew on it to actually play the gosh
Yeah,
dang.
well,
Hold
we've
up. All
been
right.
playing it with Kyle recently.
Okay,
But,
yeah. So you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this mess right now. Yeah, because we played it in 2 different sessions with that DLC with the Jamboree and all of that mess. Though we played it with Kyle and with his fiance as well. And while we were playing it, so it was all 4 of us. I would say the experience was really good. It's just kind of odd with the way how they did the connection test with all of this stuff. And what I mean by that is, it's like you can play a whole board game with, as long as everybody has Switch 2s and that Switch 2 editions, you can play through a natural board game or do select mini games and stuff. But why on earth can we not do the other 2 modes, Steven? What was it? The roller coaster one and the Bowser one? Like, bro.
We can't do the mouse mode or the camera mode in online for some reason, even though the camera is supported and mouse games are supported, which is really weird. And the new mouse mini games are really fun, so I don't get it.
Yeah,
The thing they made it really confusing. Like, why do you have to go to a separate Jamboree TV menu? Why didn't they make Jamboree TV a part of the main islands? Because the main game, you have that like all those different islands, like Minigame Island, Bowser Island. But like Jamboree TV is like completely separate. So I don't even think you can do those mouse mini games in the like how on the mini game area you could do like 5 mini games all in a row or this and that. The different like 2v2 tag team challenges you can do for mini games that they have.
Yeah, and I get what you're talking about right there,
I
and
don't
I
think you
feel
could do
like
that with mouse. They
yeah, no,
lock it
I
all.
don't think they could, but I think that's the main reason why they had to separate it is because people with Switch 2 editions of this game, like me and you, could still play with people that have just regular Switch 1 edition ones, which like that's like a couple of our friends over there, like Sonic U, like he has.
Well, that's
that. So I mean, you have to split it up somehow because you don't want a Switch 2 mini game like a mouse mini game randomly popping up while you're playing with a Switch 1 person. And I think that's the main reason why you have that weird divide because you're still trying to stay compatible with the Switch 1 people. But
you don't have to make
know.
it a whole separate menu. You can make it the same menu. When you join a Switch 1 lobby, it just won't show any of the mouse mini games. Simple. That's all. It won't have any mouse mini games if you go join a lobby with a Switch 1 person. What I don't get is why is the game still 1080p in the regular modes? You have in order to play it's so stupid. In order to play a regular board game with the new visual upgrades, the 1440p, you need to go into Jamboree TV and then select Mario Party and then play it, which is it takes longer because there's more setup and more like rules you
Oh
have to
yeah,
put
like
on.
that curtain got to
This and
rise and
that.
fall and all of that. Yeah.
It's just stupid. And then you have to go into there and then you can finally play at 1440p. And I'm pretty sure In handheld mode, it's still 720.
No,
So that just feels like
I
a
didn't even
scam.
really, I didn't really mess with it though. And you know what? To be honest, outside of the mouse mini games, I hadn't really taken advantage of the 1440p because I've still been playing on my big TV that only gets up to 1080.
Yeah, and I
I
haven't even
wasn't
played.
gonna dock this thing over here on this other monitor by my PC just to play in 1440p. It is a Mario Party game at the end of the day, don't get me wrong. So I don't think graphics is the end all be all though. I was mostly in it for the additional content like the mouse control, the camera, and all of that stuff. But because of
Yeah,
the way how you play with people online, you can't even do the little old Bowser face cam thing or that. And I feel like there
yeah,
should be some kind of way to incorporate that. But I don't know.
like the carnival coaster and the Bowser Live, I can't even play
Yeah.
because like I'd have to gather up people, which I'll eventually do. I'll eventually gather up a couple people and we'll play that. But the issue should not exist because I have 4 people willing to play online. If we all have cameras, we can do it easy.
And it's funny because you could do the camera stuff like while you're playing through the actual board game, like when you're walking out on stage and stuff. Like it showed our face from my face and your face as well when Kyle was watching on his end. Yeah, no, they were able to view all of that and shoot. It even shows your face next to your character and stuff throughout the whole regular part of the board game. So I don't understand why they couldn't somehow manage to work it in some kind of manner to where you can be able to do it with one of those two other modes. It's just super weird. I don't know. Overall, I
I
like
genuinely
what they
don't
were
get it.
trying to do. It's just not a full execution like what we've seen in some other Switch One games that they put out on the market. Like I was just throwing out a game like what they did with oh gosh, it's slipping my mind. Mario Strikers, weird stuff like that. Where it's like the game ain't bad. It's just the execution could have been a whole lot better. I don't know. That's just where I land on that game. So yeah, we've been playing some of that. Another game I've been playing lately has been Sea of Thieves on the PS5. Look here, Steven,
Oh god.
I've been trying to convince this dude to play some Sea of Thieves, and I'm telling you, like, whole freaking shoot that. Hey, the pirate's life is for me. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Hard. Like the
Hey,
pirate's life is for me because
you can try your damnedest.
I'm just saying, Steven, like, holy shoot, like, because I remember Santa Q was like, hey, get Sea of Thieves, and maybe we'll all get around to playing to it at one day. I remember buying it because that was when Xbox finally decided, hey, we're gonna start putting their games out on everywhere though. So that was in the time period where we got Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Pentiment, and High Five Rush. All 4 of those games over to the PS5, and what the Switch only got Grounded and Pentiment, I think. But yeah, it was around that time period I picked it up. We never managed to get the whole squad together until just recently. And man, it's something about just going around in that game, just, steering the pirate ship and stuff, raising the sails, dropping the sails, harpooning stuff, randomly fighting stuff. Every now and then you could run into actual live other players and stuff that might want to steal your bounty or whatever though. You run into ghost ships and stuff. You can run into the stinking Kraken that will try to sink your ship. Things get real whenever somebody shoots you or something else like a ghost ship happens to shoot you. Then boom, you got a hole at the bottom though. You got to block it up. You got to pail out that water, pour it out, find treasure, get to the map and stuff like that. And then on top of that, you have the Pirates of the Caribbean DLC stuff that's up in this mess. Oh shoot, man, you're in for a good old time as long as you know how to get like a few buddies up on a ship. Man, that game's a chef's kiss. I love the heck out of that mess though. And I don't play a lot
It
of
seems
multiplayer games on the
fun.
PS5, but that's definitely one of them for me. Like, oh shoot.
It seems like a fun game. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't really think it would be for me.
I think you would the second that you kind of get involved, which you dabble with it before, if I'm not mistaken, from some of our buddies though. But I think you
Very
crashed their
briefly.
ship or something. I don't know what happened.
Yes, I crashed their ship and I didn't know what I was doing, so they locked me in the brig.
They locked you in the stupid brig.
Yes.
Oh gosh. And they had to vote on that mess. They had to be all in accordance to do something like, oh gosh. Oh man. But yeah, no, that game is stupidly fun. And I can see why that's like one of the more popular Xbox games that's still somewhat successful. And they have all these random seasons, and I can see why it always gets updated, and like every single one of those Xbox presentations roughly around the old E3 time frame around June. I can see why they do it because they still got a pretty strong active community. And now I perfectly understand it though. The game's not necessarily as fun when you're solo in it. I mean, yeah, you can do a few things
Well,
here and there
yeah,
though, but as long as you're doing it with a group of friends, whatever, that's when the game really excels though. So I'll go ahead and say that out there. So I've been
yeah,
putting some time up
and
in that, and I think that Pirates of the Caribbean one, we did the part 1 and the part 2. Sometime this week we ought to start and do like part 3 or part 4 at some point, or at least that's the goal.
if this game dies, Rare dies because they just got Everwild canceled, and Perfect Dark also got canceled. Which
Yeah.
it's sad, but hey, Sea of Thieves is successful for them. So I'm glad. I'm glad that like they have a successful game and it looks fun and people, it's unique. Like come on, when people think pirate games, Sea of Thieves is the first game they think of. It definitely kind of has a hold on that market. If you want to go around and be like, "Yarg, I'm a pirate," you play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
No one's playing Skull and Bones. Remember that Ubisoft game?
Oh gosh, no.
They tried. They were like, "Oh yeah, we made the first quadruple A game." Dumbasses.
Yeah. So I
Like,
mean,
that's a real thing, and that came out last year. You probably didn't even know about it.
I remember hearing about that game, but outside of that, I was like, oh, whatever. Because I mean, it didn't seem like something that really would have pulled me in or anything like that.
But yes, Sea of Thieves is kind of cool. I don't know. I have not played it recently. I'll wait for it to go on a good sale if I do really want to pick it up.
Okay. Okay. But
And
yeah,
then I don't know, like oh, I was just gonna say like the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff would definitely be the stuff I'd try, which is what you guys were doing, right?
yeah, no, that's what we've been doing. Like they have a lot of good callbacks and stuff to all of those movies and stuff. And nah, it's just been a good chef's kiss just running through all of that mess. Like nah, that's what I thrive off of. That Sea of Thieves, that Sea of Thieves stuff with that Pirates of the Caribbean content. Man, it's just been really good. Highly recommend it if y'all have that game or if you have any kind of curiosity in terms of a good pirate game. Because no, there's a lot of stuff you can do up in that game in terms of like different quest lines, mini or I say mini games, not really mini games, different quest lines and stuff. Because like you can either find treasure, raid pirate ships and stuff like that. You know, look for certain kind of creatures or stuff like that. Like certain things might have bounties. There's a little bit of everything that you possibly could think in terms of like a pirate's life or whatever, and you can have PvP and all that stuff. So you can do whatever you want out on the high seas and stuff, and just interact with other players. I mean, there's a little bit of something for everybody up in that game, though. So yeah, I highly recommend it though. And honestly, I think that's mostly all I've been playing. I had started up oh, I'm looking over here at it right now. Another co recollection. I did boot that up finally after having it for who knows how long. I managed to pick it up at like a Black Friday sale. Was it last year or year before last? Something like that. I've been slowly kind
I
of
think
creeping
so.
my way through it. It seems like a very nice game overall. I just hate how slow the camera pans or whatever though. But outside of that, I can't really say too much more beyond it because I think I only got like almost 3 hours up in the game though. It's okay. It's okay. But I think outside of that, that's mostly all I've been recently playing, at least within these past couple of weeks. And then yeah, and I think for you,
Yeah,
you already
I've
talked about
been.
Kirby, and it's been speed running
I,
the mess out of Donkey Kong. Was there anything else?
no, but I'm doing good in Donkey Kong. I have a personal best of an hour and 22 minutes, which is only about 15 minutes off a world record.
Hmm, okay, not too shabby. Not too
Which
shabby.
that that game's world record is like crazy now. They've already found how many wall clips, and they skip of like half of the intended game. This and that. It's fun though. It's been that. It's been I started Digimon Cyber Sleuth, which I'm gonna play more of over the week. Which it's my first Digimon game, and it's more my first Digimon anything. I'm not a very Digimon guy before this.
Oh yeah, I think Santa Q managed to convince you to get it. I guess that's how you got up
Yeah, he
in it.
did. I got the physical edition though. It was fun. It's cool.
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
gonna, like I said, I'm definitely gonna play that. There's a lot of stuff I'm gonna be playing in the next month. I'm not gonna be playing. I don't know the one game that everyone's gonna be playing. I'm not gonna pick up though. We'll talk about it later.
All right. Well, I think outside of that, that's pretty much it in terms of everything we've been recently going through and playing through. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump over to the next major segment of the show, that being what's in the gaming news. Oh shoot, let the games begin, Steven, cause freaking shoot. I told y'all, every single one of y'all little rats out there that work at this company over here. Analogue, I'm looking at you right now. I said in the last episode, gosh dang it. I said, look here. I said, y'all delayed that system from July to August. Would it be in a 1 month delay? That made sense. You were giving all this bull crap out of here with this word salad statement saying about how you're going to eat the cost. You can't wait to have it be previewed out to certain people, so that way we can get some impressions from like people like that would be like content creators and all of that stuff. I heard rumblings and stories about how they were ready to almost ship those things out to like certain people that would have been able to preview those consoles, and the content creators or whatever, though, so that way word is out there on the street in terms of like how the system performs and stuff, what the image quality looks like, that and everything else that would have been associated with this system. And I saw how the shipping labels were made, but nothing ever shipped. And then like a couple of days from that, when people were kind of saying that on the streets, then they come out with this bull crap of us. I mean, a bull crap of I'm about to whip this thing out right now. A crazy statement right here. And I was like,
Whip it out,
there's absolutely no way. And yes, I am whipping this mess out. So they said
Hell
this,
yeah, brother.
word for word. Analogue has been moving at maximum pace, processing, shipping to everyone who has been patiently waiting. Unexpected, uncommon issues are rare, especially in a negligible degree under estor- esoteric circumstances. Gosh dang it, why are you using words like that? Anyway, we're ensuring every detail meets our standard. Nonetheless, we know this sucks. Another delay, another late after months of patience. We feel it too, Analogue 3D. No, y'all absolutely don't. Has been in development for 4 years obsessively. Really hasn't been 4 years. It's at quote unquote 99%. They said they got the nerve and audacity to say it's at 99%. What the frick is that last 1%? They said the hardware, the system, the packaging, the full kit has been ready and set for months. If it's been set for months, why the heck is this mess sitting in the warehouse somewhere? They said that last 1% is where we're focused. I don't think so. Not a single bit. They said that this has moved our shipping date to stinking Q4. Intentionally set conversatively. We're pushing without pause and appreciate everyone's patience and trust. Analogue will always deliver, delays or not. It's our commitment to our standard of care. If you'd like to cancel your pre-order at any time for a full refund, visit da-da-da-da-da. What the heck was all of that I just read over here? Because the fact that they said they moved that mess to Q4, now, remember, they took our money and our pre-orders from this back in October of 2024. You mean to tell me, assuming that there's no more delays, which I don't have any faith in that at this given point, because if they delay it again, people are really going to be looking at them side-eye because they said they're missing that quote-unquote last 1%, but it's going to be over a year. And originally, mind y'all, a little history lesson. It ain't much history, but a little bit of history. That system was scheduled to come out, quote unquote. They were ones that said that they were shooting for this release date. None of us said that it had to come out at that time. They said Q1 of 2025, which could have been January, February, or March at the latest. And they didn't update us at all between October and what was like a couple of months into March before they delayed it from there to July. And then we wait all the way until mid-July. And then they said we're going to delay it from July to August. And I said in the last episode, I was like, look, we're either going to have this system or they're going to delay it one more time. If they only delayed it by a month, I feel like they should be almost there. As what we saw in this statement, they said 99%, and then they delayed from July to what could be at the latest December of this year.
Like, they're probably just waiting for the tariffs to hopefully go away.
No, you can't. No, hold up. You can't pull up that bull crap up on me, because in their last statement, they said they're eating the cost. They're eating the gosh dang cost.
What?
If they're going to eat the cost, I don't care. Give me this gosh dang system, Steven.
But but stuff keeps going up. They probably said that, and then they're like, oh God, wait a second. We're not going to make money off of this if we eat the costs. Because, that's obviously the goal, is to make money off of it. If you want me to make a guess, Zard, it's just gonna get delayed again until something actually happens regarding, the price, the import costs. I don't know. I genuinely, if it's 99% done, then there is literally nothing else waiting other than, we want to make money, so we gotta wait. There's no other reason. There's absolutely no other reason that this thing keeps getting delayed, Zard. You'll realize that once it gets delayed again. And I don't know. Yeah, God, just communicate this from the start. Just be like, hey, we don't know when we're releasing this thing yet. There's a lot of stuff stopping us from releasing it. We'll give you a month's notice beforehand. Or even just say, hey, it's coming in 2026. That solves all your problems. That gives you a year to prepare for this.
No, they're dumb luck. They ain't gonna do that, man. Heck no.
I don't think it's releasing this year, if you ask me.
Wait, so the thing that you were talking about with the system earlier in the show, was it associated with this?
Yes, we got a little preview of the UI and some gameplay from it today.
Where the heck was this at?
I think I seen a video on Game Explain. But we've seen the OS, we've seen some new footage, and we've seen them playing 1080p snowboarding on it.
Hold up, no, we putting a pause up. I'm gonna pull this thing up on the gosh dang stream. You give me that link right now. We ain't moving on to another subject until I see this gosh dang stuff on the show.
I'm looking for something in my room. Just go on the Game Explains channel.
Game Explains channel. Oh gosh.
Oh. Yeah, you'll see it. I'm sure. I'm having trouble finding something important in my room.
Alright. Oh shoot. Alright, so they say gameplay. Alright, so he's saying something about that. I was trying to see if they got an actual link to it or something. Maybe not. Oh wait. Unless it was on the actual website, which I'm kind of scrolling through it right now.
I don't know where the gameplay is. I just know there's gameplay.
Yeah, because I was like, brother, you should have sent me this mess before we even started this gosh dang show. I don't even see it on their website with that footage. That's a little bit weird. Wait, on the what the no? Oh, here's the source. What the freak? Oh, okay. Here we go. We're in business. We're in business now, Steven. It's gonna be a little weird, but I'm gonna go ahead and share, at least for the people here at home. Oh yeah, I did that quick. All right. So apparently this is some footage and stuff of, and it is weird. I will show y'all the website thing after the fact up on this mess though. So I guess that kind of goes to show that they had some stuff almost ready to go though. As I'm looking at them sticking 1080p 1080p 1080 snowboarding up on the thing though. Okay. That was something. That was just a very short little old video. Wasn't even much to it. Gosh dang it. All right, but it's weird. They got so many different things. They got that. Oh no, those are links to download certain stuff. PNG, white people. What the? Oh, okay. That was literally it. That was it. It was just that one little video they had right here. That was it.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a long video. And then there should be a video of the OS.
There should be a video of the OS. All right, let me see if I can pull
Yeah.
that one up here. It's
Called
so
like the
weird because
3D
like
OS.
if you were looking on the stream right now, all they have is just all these random old things on the side over here that you have to go through and click that I got on here on this TV screen. Doesn't even make not a lick of gosh dang sense. I mean, look, now they want to show some graphics and stuff with Super Smash Brothers and all of that mess. Okay, that's a little weird, but all right. Shoot, it's the crusty looking one too. You got all the cracks and stuff up on it. I guess you can show that that's a real cartridge or whatever though. And then you got like images of the back and stuff. Like I guess this is all stuff that would have been their press kit or whatever though. Oh, okay. Got a little weird tease and stuff. Open up so many different tabs up here. It's getting a little ridiculous. Multiplayer wire. Oh no, I think I might have already clicked on that. You said something about the OS system, and I'm like, oh dear, that's a whole PDF.
It should have been in the game. Just look at the game explain video.
No. I'm starting to. Okay.
Well,
I saw the game explain video. The game explain video, which I'll
well,
go
this
ahead and throw up
podcast is
in
gonna
here
go
right
on.
now.
This podcast is gonna go on forever if you don't find it. So just look at the place I told you to look.
All right, so that is the OS right here that we got right there. And the funny thing about that whole thing, Steven, there's a little bit of OS right here that I got on the screen. Pause with little Andre's face up on here. It's the same OS stuff that was on the website originally. This ain't new. Like this exact roughly layout, it's the same that we already had. The only thing that was kind of brand new that I just kind of showed y'all just a moment ago was them actually sticking the 1080 snowboarding up on the thing. That was about it. That was it in terms of brand new stuff, in terms of like an actual footage of any kind of game running. And that's it. I'm glad you pointed this out. I'm going to comb through it more after the show, though. But like, holy shoot. Thank you, Steven, for showing me that mess. I needed something.
No problem.
Oh, my gosh. All right. All right, Analogue. Y'all try to bail yourself out with a little bit of stuff. You had a little bit of stuff to kind of bring up to this court case, though. I ain't buying this bullcrap not one little bit. I'm pretty sure that when this system comes out, it's probably gonna be all fine and dandy, and then we'll just kind of, we won't laugh it off, but we'd be like, man, that was just a rough ride getting over here, though. Like, you know, it's like doing a road trip. You're excited now you're at the place, though, but you can think back to the road getting here, and it was just a bumpy old road. Gosh, all right. I really don't want to talk about this mess anymore unless something miraculous comes out and it's actually really good content. But they tried. They tried, but I don't know. They ain't trying hard enough, at least to my liking, or no shock or no surprise. Anyway,
it doesn't look like they're trying.
Yeah, no, I don't know. They just weird over here. They're weird. All right, we're gonna move on. I'm tired of this steam rolling from my ears, though. Now let's talk about a difference. Oh, what?
You wanted to talk about it. I was just going to say, you wanted to talk about it.
I had to. I had to get some steam off out of my ears over here. I'm just saying, though, sometimes you got to vent. And that was the one segment of the show I had to. It should only go up from here, roughly. But we're gonna hit we're gonna hit a little turbulence. It's not gonna be as bad as what we just talked about. This is a little bit of turbulence because now we got to talk about Xbox new handheld, that Analogue 3D, or the Xbox, or basically there's two of them, the Rog Xbox Ally X and that Rog Xbox Ally. You know, the one that's the Ally X is the souped up stronger version or whatever though.
Yeah.
They did manage to bring this up during the middle of GamesCom, so we kind of have a little bit of a bleed over between some of these things that we're about to talk about and officially into the GamesCom announcements and stuff, like with GamesCom opening night live though. But this happens to be like one of those topics that are up in here though, as they actually managed to show off a little bit more of the system, and they said in terms of pricing, there wasn't anything concrete. However, some retailers were kind of quick on the draw and did manage to kind of jump the gun a little bit, because now we have some rough idea estimates on how much the system could cost. you still got to take it with a grain of salt because it could go a little up, it could go a little bit down. But the fact that these retailers threw out these prices kind of gives us a general idea of like how much this system would roughly cost, though. So if you're looking at the basic old version for like that ROG Xbox Ally, roughly, you're going to be looking at $550. And then if you're looking at the Ally X, a souped up stronger version, roughly about $900. That is wow. Now you thought having a PS5 Pro was a little crazy with the $700 mark in. To have an Ally X, a handheld thing, oh gosh.
Now, yeah, Zard, guess what? Welcome to 2025, baby.
Now I still remember because this Ally ain't a brand new concept. You technically can buy a ROG Ally out right now. I actually have one of the ROG Allies right now. I had the Z1 Extreme. So there was like the Z1 and there was a Z1 Extreme. That was like the first two models of the ROG Ally that was out on the market. They came out with like a Z2, like basically like a version 2 that's souped up a little bit stronger. And those are like all of the different models that are kind of out there currently on the market, though. And it's kind of funny because this new one that Xbox partnered with ROG Ally, it basically is going to do almost the same exact stuff as the ROG Allies that are currently on the market. You just won't actually have an Xbox button. And technically, with these current ROG Allies, which I have, the Z1 Extreme, there is going to be an update in the future that will basically get the same type of UI infrastructure in terms of like where you're actually able to play all of these games off of like one load screen or whatever, though. You're going to get these updates for previous ROG Allies. So it's like, why in the world would you pay these higher amounts? I know some people love the colorful buttons and that really want to have that Xbox button, but at the end of the day, if you can get something a little bit cheaper, why not do it? I mean, yes, this does have traditional hand grips kind of close to like that PlayStation DualSense or whatever, though, but like at those costs for $550, it's not that bad. I mean, I think that's still a little roughly around or maybe a little bit cheaper than like the Z1 Extreme that I bought back in the day. But that ROG Ally X for $900, heck no. And that's the one you probably should get just based upon the better performance you're going to get out of that thing. But for that price, whoo, that's a hard asking price. I'm just saying, I don't know what Xbox is thinking right now. Granted, still take these with a grain of salt. They're not 100% confirmed, but they're going to be roughly around those ranges. But after seeing those prices, Steven, how does that make you feel? You think Xbox is in their sound mind right now?
Makes me feel like not buying it, honestly.
No, you got about it right, because I'm pretty sure, and you can go back and look at the numbers in terms of like how well these PC handhelds have been doing. And if you look at the Steam Deck numbers, like what they might have sold at most, Steven, I can't remember what the highest amount it was, but no more than 4 million, I think, is what the Steam Deck numbers might have been roughly around. ROG Ally might have been a little bit lower than that, but these handheld PCs, I always feel like there's a new one popping out every now and then. One happens to just be randomly popping up, but it hadn't been really taken off. Nothing in comparison to like what the Switch or what the Switch 2 is currently doing right now. Ain't nowhere close though. But I can see Xbox is trying to do this in some kind of way to kind of bridge the gap, to kind of compete with Nintendo with what they're doing. And I know there's like been some rumor reports, even PlayStation's kind of looking into this mess with a system that could come out either slightly before or roughly around the same time when supposedly a PS6 could come out on the marketplace. There's rumblings and rumors going out the mill for that though too. But I don't know. Like I like the idea Xbox, but like if you're gonna release it for those prices, it's gonna be a hard asking selling price for some people. You diehard Xbox people will probably still pick it up, but like, nah, I just don't see it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I honestly don't get it either, but Xbox, they're gonna do whatever they want to do until slick boy Phil Spencer. They're just gonna be like, nah. Someone's gonna have to walk up to him and say, you know what, you're fired. We're shutting down the whole studios and stuff. I feel like Xbox is kind of working their way into a little bit of a corner where I keep saying this time and time again. I don't think after this next generation or whatever comes after this next Xbox, this is gonna be the last one. And I think Xbox is going on full third party at this point because I just feel like they just keep slowly. I don't know, like the stuff they putting out, the decisions they're doing, the studio closures and all of this stuff, the people that they're laying off. I just don't think they have it in them for much longer. They're just gonna just make games and probably just fall out of the hardware stuff because I mean they had this whole Play Anywhere initiative thing, though, but I just don't know. It just seems really weird. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got to say about the Rog Xbox Ally. It's supposed to be coming out on October 16th. So we'll see what people say when they go, get some hands on. I'm curious to see what people will say about the whole little unit, though, especially for those that already own a Rog Ally of one generation or the other, though. But I'm just kind of curious, though. But yeah, that's going to basically do it in terms of that. So we're going to switch over to our next topic because, once again, well, we had a little fun with talking about Nintendo, a little bit of Xbox. Now we got to talk about a little bit of PlayStation over here because, whoo, man, this economy sucks, Steven. It sucks because, gosh dang, the PS5 price has increased once again. Remember when the PS5 started back in 2020? The physical console was $500 MSRP for American prices, and the digital edition was $400. I remember when they did a price increase and said the digital edition is now $450, and they still managed to keep the console at $500. But now they basically marked up all those different editions of the PS5 up by $50. So now the PS5 with the disc drive is basically at $550, and the digital edition is now up to $500. That's $100 increase from the digital edition from where it originally started from, and only they watered down a little bit, but a $50 increase for the physical edition from the point of when it originally started, though. And that's crazy. And then the PS5 Pro is sitting at $750.
Like, just depressing is what it is.
I remember back in my day, consoles went down in price, but this is that new age of gaming where stuff is going up. So now it's like, hey, if a system comes out, a piece of technology comes out, a graphics card comes out, you might as well get it as close as you can to launch if you can afford it, because you never know the value of that stuff that you're buying right now. It could go up in cost or it could go up in value. I'm just saying, though.
Yeah. I'll be right back, Sword. Sorry, I'm just getting something.
Oh, no, you're good. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that the fact that that is going to be a thing, and I was like, oh shoot, it really sucks that that's kind of where we're at within the gaming spirit right now, where stuff is just going to constantly keep going up in price like that, and we can't settle for nothing. And I know part of it is just due to the economy, things like tariffs and stuff kind of kick it into the picture and stuff. So you can't ever keep stuff exactly where it is, though. But like, I just feel like at some point, gaming in general is just going to be more of an enthusiast market at this point, though, at least with the way how things are going and progressing. Because shoot, if the PS5 started off the generation at $500 and went up to $550, we see the cost of a PS5 Pro, we see the cost of basically a PS5 Pro being at roughly around $750 now. It kind of makes you think, gosh, how much would a PS6 cost at that point? We don't even know if it's even going to come with a physical disc drive attached to it. It might be a completely all digital system now. So yeah, there's a lot of things that's kind of factoring into play in terms of, why this console had to go up in price yet again. And we've been seeing it go up and even in other regions outside of ours, when ours kind of stayed the same for a while, though, but other regions actually have gone up and has steadily been going up step by step throughout this whole entire generation, though. So it's just kind of weird. And then obviously you have people looking at the PS5 and it's like, well, what are their true exclusives? They're putting out a lot of their stuff on not PlayStation, putting their stuff out on PC and stuff. And then now PlayStation's kind of looking at some games to actually put on the Xbox consoles that are associated that would technically be a first-party game, like Helldivers. That was originally on PC and PS5. Now they're actually putting that mess on the Xbox consoles, though. So now it seems like these companies are getting a little too buddy, at least a little too much so, at least for my own liking though. But goodness, it is a little bit odd though. I don't know if Steven's back yet or not, but no, he's still getting some stuff though. So, but yeah, honestly, it is super unfortunate just to see, you know, these costs due to tariffs, due to some other things, stuff go up that much though. But I don't know. It's just gonna make it tough on the consumer because then you're gonna have to really choose and nickel and dime and figure out exactly what you want, when you want it, and figure out exactly how much of whatever you want can you get throughout the course of a span of a year. And even though you want to play all these amazing games, you still got to save up. You still got to pay bills. You still got to take care of other important business and stuff. And you know what, gaming as just as a like a as a hobby and stuff, it's gonna be starting to lean closer to the side of people that just have a stupid amount of money because this is gonna be
Right.
hard in today's age to be able to do it. All right, Steven, you're back.
I'm back. Yeah, this economy fucking sucks, and the PS5. Let's be honest, the PS5 is still beating Xbox because what's regular PS5 is still cheaper than what Xbox Series X went up to 600.
Yeah, no, it went up to 600, which that was kind of dumb. I was like, holy
Yeah,
shoot.
and I guess you know Switch 2 definitely looks better now because retroactively because of that. Still not good, but like
Yeah, no, still not
the
good,
Switch
but yeah.
still a $100 price difference compared to because P- Switch 2 for 450 compared to compared to PS5 for 500. That was a little harder of a selling point, especially because there's a lot of people that would just use a Switch 2 specifically for like stuff at home. There's
Mm-hmm.
some people that don't go outside that much, which they would benefit a lot less from a Switch 2. But like, at least for me, I use it portably a decent amount. But for the now that the price increase has happened, it's definitely more justifiable choosing a Switch 2 over a PS5. $100 is a lot of money. Either way, these prices should not be increasing. Either way. Like for example, when the PS3 came out, it was $650. But then they very quickly realized that was a mistake and it went down to like 250 by the end of the generation. There is no reason that Switch 1 should have gone up in price alongside all of this. I don't even know if you have that on the list or if we talked about it last time, Zard. Switch 1 went up.
I want to say I did. I'm pretty sure,
Maybe.
but that was on a
Either
show that
way,
yeah, you were gone.
I don't want to stay on it for too long because we still have a lot of stuff to talk about, but like shit, man, its prices are going high. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it not one little bit. But I think we kind of addressed most of our concerns and stuff though. So dang, it is just rough out there. It's just rough. And you know what? While I was on the topic, I was like, let me just look at Best Buy and see if the prices have actually gone up. Surprisingly, they hadn't actually gone up just yet. At least when I'm looking at Best Buy, because like the disc drive is still at 500, and the disc list, so the digital version, is still at 450. So they're still at the old prices, at least for now. But it's always up to the retailers to determine where they want to lean on with some of this stuff, though. So yeah, it's crazy to see it go up that amount, though. But hey, if you're someone still out there looking, you still got a chance. Xbox, heck no, that mess is already at $600. I'm looking at Best Buy right now. So yeah, just really unfortunate, really unfortunate.
PS5, they sold a couple bundles that were cheaper, that are still on, still cheap.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it in terms of the PS5 price increase. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some positive stuff with some game announcements, including one that's the mother of all mother announcements. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hollow Knight Silk Song. It freaking showed up on Gamescom. They still said it was coming coming during 2025. And then people were like, oh, okay. Still no release date. Yada, yada, yada. And ladies and gentlemen, in a mirror, as of the time of this recording this podcast, in a mere 4 days, Hollow Knight Silksong is going to be real. It's coming out on September 4th. And now we can finally get all these people to finally shut up about bringing this mess up in every single Nintendo Direct, Xbox presentation, a state of play or something like that, and especially in every one of those indie worlds, because they've been looking for this game for the longest time. It's like they found the One Piece from stinking One Piece, and they finally got it. So now the seas can be calm. Yes, Silksong is real.
Every single live chat on Nintendo's YouTube will be hopefully less annoying.
Hey, it should be. I know these people have been
Actually,
hammering
no,
along for a long time.
They'll be talking about Smash the moment that Silksong comes out.
Oh, they'll probably be talking about, hey, put that dude in Smash. That'll be the next thing to complete the circle, and we're gonna be like, gosh dang it, Sans needs to be put in first. But yeah, no, the fact, the fact that this game has taken, I was looking at seeing what Team Cherry said on Hollow Knight Silksong. It basically took them 7 years to develop this game, and they said, quote unquote, it was never stuck or anything. It was always progressing. It's just the case that they were a small team, and games take a lot of time. There wasn't anything big or controversial moment behind it. We're very fortunate that we have a development method that is so enjoyable. Now, I'm trying to figure out, how big is Team Cherry? I thought I heard some kind of report how it's just like a few of them. 6?
6 people. Apparently, 6 people.
Oh, I'm about to do some quick math right now, though. How many people? Oh, not how many people. How many copies
not math.
of Hollow Knight?
Like 15 million copies already.
So 15 million? All right, and then
approximately.
Let's look. Now, yeah, that's what it said
Zard,
on Google.
not all of that money goes to the developers. A cut of it goes to to Steam, or a cut of it goes to Nintendo.
I get that part though. But I'm just doing some rough, quick.
They're all doing very well for themselves. Don't worry. If you're trying to find out how much they make, like, I don't know, they made enough money to where they had no schedule for this game. Like, there was no crunch, is what they've gone. They've gone on record saying that. They went on record saying that there was absolutely no crunch for this game.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say they sold every copy of Hollow Knight for like $20. That's $300 million. Let's say a third of that money went to whatever publisher they had to put it out on for the system. Now, that's at least $200 million split between 6 people. Shoot, I would be in no rush to put out Hollow Knight Silksong. I'll be working and just be chilling and making this the best game possible with no deadlines, no crunch, no nothing. I think that's the reason why it took so gosh dang long for this game to finally come out, though. So yeah, for all y'all that have been wondering about it, I crunched the numbers. When you're making that much money on a previous game, you ain't in no rush whatsoever to put out your next game, knowing how good that this next game could basically sell based upon the sales of the previous game, though. I'm just saying, though. Team Cherry over there, they're cooking, but like,
obviously, shoot. Hollow Knight is like one of the most anticipated. Silksong is one of the most anticipated sequels of all time. So they definitely don't want to disappoint. People have been waiting how long for this game? It kind of needs to be good.
And I mean, it needs to be good. Yes. Does it need to be the greatest game of all time? Not necessarily. No.
It's not gonna be the greatest.
But people are gonna hold it up to that high standard just because, unfortunately, how long it took for them to actually put out this game, which is a little bit unfortunate. They don't necessarily deserve that. They're a very small team, though. They just know what they're doing and having to be pretty good about it, though. And I never went and played the original Hollow Knight, though. But based on some of these previews and stuff we've seen from GAMESCOM, and I can't remember. I think it might also be playable at PAX West, I think, as well, which is kind of currently going on right about now as well. People have been really enjoying this game and been enjoying the demos of what this game has been all about. I mean, the game's about to come out in 4 days, though, so people are really going to be able to say whatever they want on the internet here in just a little bit, though. But yeah, this might be one of those games. I don't play a lot of indie games, but this, based on the reputation and all of this stuff, the game doesn't look off-putting to me where I'm like, hey, I might actually pick this up after I mess around with.
Do you like Metroid game?
Yes, I do like Metroid. I do like my Castlevania.
You like Castlevania?
So
okay.
I mean, it's in my wheelhouse. I probably would like it. It's just a matter of fact, where can I squeeze it in is the bigger
Are you
question.
fine with a challenging game that
I played through
isn't
them Ori games, and that's some very challenging platforming. Just saying though, but I know this one is geared a little bit more so with combat. But yeah,
For a second, I thought you were about to say I played with those them Oreos in the blind forests.
oh my gosh, Steven. What the heck are you
What?
on right now, bro? No, no, no.
I
Oh
thought you
my
said
gosh.
Oreo. What? I thought you said
Ori,
Oreo.
Ori, and the Blind Forest, and
I
Ori,
know.
Will
I
of the
know that
Wisp.
now. I know that now. But at first, it sounded like you said Oreo, and that was really funny to me.
Oh gosh, Steven, get your mind out of the gutter. Anyway, though, um,
How is that my mind in the gutter? It's Oreos.
no, I know what you're implying with this. I ain't trying to go that
No,
deep
I'm
up in.
not.
Get
I quite
Steven,
literally
Steven,
am
shut your
not.
mouth right now. Shut your mouth right now. I ain't trying to get in trouble, or I ain't trying. I'm trying to dig you out of this trouble that you're trying to
No,
bring up.
I
No, no,
very quite
no, Steven.
literally do
No,
not
you gotta be
understand
quiet.
what you're.
No, 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 no. No. We'll talk about it later though. But oh shoot,
Okay,
just be quiet for now. But anyway,
okay.
though. Oh my gosh. Anyway, though, this game could very easily be one of those games that might vibe with me. I just got to figure out where in the world I'm gonna slot it in, because October is going to be a crazy heck of a schedule. I think there's a game coming out almost every single week that I want to get. But yeah, I'm just glad that finally Ori and oh gosh, I was about to say I was about to name. I said Ori. Oh shoot, Hollow Knight Silk Song is finally coming out. Oh gosh, I'm just glad it's finally coming out. So now people don't have to complain about it not being out on the market, not showing up in any of these presentations. We're done with that mess. We can put it behind us and look forward to something else bigger and grander. So yeah, Hollow Knight fans, rejoice and be glad, because the game comes out in less than 4 days. Whew. All right. Was there anything else you want to say on Hollow Knight, Steven?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily excited for it personally. Sorry to be the pessimistic one, but like I don't know. I Hollow Knight, like the original Hollow Knight, wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. Okay.
Okay.
So, but like, I'm really happy for the fans that have been waiting 6 years and they finally get to play it and all. But like, maybe I'll eventually go back and like I'll change my mind on Hollow Knight. But as of right now, I'm personally not gonna play it. But hope you enjoy it because I know you're probably gonna play it as you were saying.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I can get around to it at some point, especially if the reputation for it is good. Like all these
Have you
people are.
played the original?
I hadn't played the original, but there's probably gonna be quite a bit of people that probably hadn't played the original that's gonna just jump straight up into this game at this point, though. So we'll see. We'll see. All
You
right.
probably should play the original personally.
I've seen
Like
some
you
people
should.
kind of recommending or saying, "Hey, the original one was good, but based on the stuff that we're seeing with this one, you might as well just go ahead and just jump into this." But I don't know. Whatever though. Neither here nor there. All right, now we're going to jump over to one of the big major topping points for this show tonight. Gamescom has been going on within the past couple of weeks. And of course, you know, with Gamescom opening night live, they had to talk about bring up a lot of different announcements and stuff like that. Most of these games have been games that we already actively known about. So we either got updates on stuff, DLC here and there, though. So there's a whole bunch of games, and I ain't gonna talk about every single one of the announcements that they brought up within like Open Night Live or anything that happened over those span of few days or whatever, though. But I just want to point out some major noteworthy ones that we could just say a quick 2 cents about, and then there might be some games that we actually might want to put a little bit more time up in it, though. So I just got like a couple of handful of different games that we'll just quickly go through here real quick. So Black Myth Wukong. We know how that was like a game of the year contender last year, right? Apparently that same studio is actually behind another game called Black Myth Zhong Kui. I don't know how you pronounce that, Steven. Have you
Kui,
seen
I
Kui?
think it's Kui.
Kui. So apparently that's now a thing in development right now. So we'll see if that one manages to have some major chops or anything like that in comparison to the original Black Myth Wukong, which I never played. Steven, I don't think you ever played that game, have you?
No, I have not,
Okay.
but I heard it was good, blah blah blah, game of the year, this, that. Everyone went crazy for it.
Yeah, so they start off the show with stuff like that. So you had some heavy hitters here and there, though. But then you had some weird old announcement stuff. I mean, some weird old announcements because apparently there's a new Bubsy game in the works. And I was like, what the freak? Like, who in the world decided to make this thing? And I started looking at this mess. I was like, bro, there's a reason why Bubsy never really started off on his own 2 feet and stuff. Like, this is the year of 2025. What are we doing over here making a new Bubsy game? Like, the dude looked ratchet. He looked crusty as all get out. The game's never really played well. This might be the best playing one, but still, it looks like looks like a hot mess.
Wait,
Steven, you
what are you
said
talking about?
you got some stuff to say about it though. I don't know because based
Yes.
upon some people I know that have actually played it and was looking at this mess though, like they weren't vibing with it. I was like, nah. I was like, gosh dang it. I was like, I know this ain't one of those things game series that you're gonna vibe with. Either you love this thing or you hate it, and there ain't no in between. But go ahead and say what you got to say though. But I'm just kind of disgusted. We got another one of these stupid games.
Yeah, I'm getting this game. Simple
Oh
as that.
heck no, Steven. Heck no. What are
No,
you
listen,
doing?
I don't
What are you
listen.
doing?
So I don't give a fuck about Bubsy usually. I don't really like any of the other Bubsy games, and that's not gonna change. But this game, first of all, I like the cell shaded art style it's going for, and I don't know what you're talking about him looking like Raggedy. This is the best that Bubsy has ever looked. He's like a middle aged man now, which is totally like what he would be, because he's old now. He's a middle aged man. He's old. The game goes out of its way to state that he is old. Okay? And he looks decent, and like the game itself just looks cel shaded, it looks fun. And then I've watched gameplay, okay? I was looking at gameplay, and this game actually looks really fun. It's got like it's got like a type of like Hat in Time mixed with like Sonic Adventure style movement. It's Bubsy has always been kind of like a mishmash of all those platformers. He's kind of like got the Yoshi flutter jump mixed with Mario's moveset mixed with Sonic's speed. He's always been kind of like a parody of all of those types. And this game looks, at least I'm looking at the levels, it looks like it could be a really, really fun speed game. And it's got like costumes you can use. They all got different skill. You could buy skills as well.
I'm gonna have
I'm
to.
just looking at the gameplay, and it looks like a fun game, and like visually, like I don't know, it's cell shaded. It's got like an actual art style compared to all the other Bubsy games that look like crap. Like remember when they brought back Bubsy a couple years ago? It did not look good.
All right, Steven, I'm just gonna have to respectfully disagree with you on this, man. I'm looking at this trailer right now. I'm looking at some of these environments and stuff. I was like, what is this blurred and stuff in the background? I mean, yeah, Bubsy doesn't look as bad as what he does in some previous games. I will give you that much though. But like when he's rolling around and stuff like that, I'm looking at like these little what are these like mine yarn ball thing, basic old structure things, kind of like it just looks like some kind of ripped asset or something that was just
Well,
ripped out of something. I'm looking over here like this
I
rainbow
didn't
trail
say
and
it was
stuff that I
perfect,
know it ain't perfect though, but like come on,
but
Steve, we're
like,
gonna have some kind of standards over here. Like bro, like what is
well,
this?
no, you're judging it by the standards of like a Mario or a Sonic game, but this is an indie game basically, which I don't know if the developers of this game. From everything I've seen, they made a game which I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Demon Turf slash Demon Tides,
No, I
which
don't
are
think I heard of that
small
one.
3D. They were small scale indie 3D platformers with a very similar art style to Bubsy. It's simplistic, very gameplay focused platformers that focus on their polished mechanics. And I'm looking at footage of the new game they're working on, and it looks just like Bubsy 3D. And this game, it looks like it's gonna be the best 3D Sonic game we've had in years. Funnily enough, just from gameplay alone, it's got momentum, it's got speed mechanics, it's got tons of moves you can use. The developers themselves are showing like speedrun skips that they've done in the levels.
Well,
which is really cool. Honestly, I don't know. All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna play the game when it comes out, and I'm gonna tell you what I think. And
oh
guess what?
heck
If
no,
I buy it,
heck
if I
no.
buy it, if I buy it and it's bad, then it's bad. But guess what? I'm gonna buy it.
When
Okay,
does this
they've
game
hooked
come
me.
out? When does this game come out, Steven?
I don't know. I think they said 2026. Just a flat 2026. Let's see.
It said wish list now at the end of that trailer.
2026. That's all we know. I'm
Oh
getting it.
shoot! I hope something bigger, grander in scope. Like watch this game come out in the same month that this
Well, I don't.
crazy though, but in the
I
same
don't.
month as GTA 6 or something crazy like that comes.
Well,
Ain't
like,
nobody gonna be
well,
talking
what
about
is
no
your? Well,
Bubsy.
here's the thing. You said that you have your connections and this and that, and they played the game. Who? Because I don't know. It seems like you just. It seems like you only don't like this game because of the reputation of Bubsy, which kind of got to give the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying it's gonna be your type of game, but like, there's nothing about the game that inherently looks bad compared to games I know you've played.
Oh,
It's an indie game. It's a smaller scale indie game.
no, it's just a content creator. I just been kind of watching here and there though, and my opinions sort of kind of line up with theirs a handful of times though. She just happened to
Okay.
be over there at what was it? It was PAX West that's kind of going on right now. So she happened to go through and play and look at some of these games and stuff like that. Bubsy happened to be one of them, and whoo, the stuff that she was saying about that stuff, I was like, yeah, that kind of lines out with what I was kind of seeing in the trailers and some of this other footage, though. But I was like, I wasn't expecting to talk about Bubsy for this long on this gosh dang stinking podcast, though. But like, oh
Well,
shoot,
because I
man!
don't know, you're basing it off of what one person said, and I'm basing it off of gameplay that I watched myself.
All right, we're gonna move on. Oh man, Bubsy, man, gosh dang, why we got another one of these
Yeah,
things?
it looks like
Why,
a fun
why,
game.
why the
I
freak
don't
we
know what
got
to
another
say.
one? Why? All right. Anyway, though, they also managed to have announcements such as Daemon X Machina, Titanic, Scion, which remind y'all that's a game that's also that's coming out for the Switch too, and there's actually a demo for the game apparently as a thing right now. So at some point, maybe I'll download that on my Switch too. Just have something else brand new to try it on my Switch too, though. But yeah, if you were remotely curious about this thing, there is a demo for it. I remember the original Daemon X Machina having its demo and stuff. I remember messing around with that. So yeah, we got a trailer on that. Resident Evil Requiem, that got another new trailer because obviously that's the brand new Resident Evil game. Steven, are you gonna be picking this one up? Because I think you like Resident Evil at least a decent bit, right?
I'll definitely be picking it up, but we don't really know much about the game yet.
Yeah. So it was just a little bit more of a tease of what's to come. I don't think we have a release date for that thing just yet. But yeah, it was just nice to kind of see.
2026,
Yeah. So not like a
definitely.
hardcore like a month and day is what I was thinking of. But yeah, we don't have
But
that
yeah,
determined yet.
what do you want me to say? It's Resident Evil 9. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
I know. Trust me, Zard. I know you don't like Resident Evil games, so I'm not even going to ask what your thoughts on it are. All I'm going to tell you is that I think Resident Evil 7 and 8 are some of my favorite games I've played, and I am excited for the new one.
Okay.
I know nothing about the new one yet, but like it's probably going to be a good game. They show that it's going to be taking you back to the same place from Resident Evil 2.
Oh, back to the
That's
city.
really all we know. Well,
Okay.
like they show the kind of abandoned, and because I don't know if you know this, after Resident Evil 2, the city gets nuked. So it's showing like the nuclear like
The fallout from that.
grounds, the nuclear fallout of the police station and all that. Which at least that's what we saw. And then the new trailer had some like really fucking creepy shit. I didn't watch it.
I'm surprised you didn't watch it though.
I just seen like clips.
Hmm. Okay. All right.
I don't know. Not much to say besides that. Looks like it could be a fun game. We will find out when it comes out.
All right. So not too bad. Not too bad. And then next up, they did also manage to show off another trailer for Ghost of Yotei. And I was like, heck yes. Everything I've been seeing about the game has been great. I remember, I think it was last month when we had that state of play that was focused purely on Ghost of Yotei. I wasn't trying to watch like every square inch of that direct, or I say direct, state of play, because I know I'm already sold up on the game. This is one of those games where it's like, yeah, you can look at it, it can look cool, but until you actually play in the game, you get up into it, that's when the game really shines. And it's kind of always hard to describe that mess though. But the key thing that came out of this story trailer is that they're bringing back the Legends mode, which was a multiplayer game within like the original Ghost of Tsushima mode, and they're saying that's coming out in 2026, and they're saying it's basically a free update for all people that will have that game at some point, which is kind of a little bit odd. Like, is that where we kind of at now in the gaming industry, where it's like you will get the main single player campaign for some game at launch, and a little more, or basically some point next year, that's when you will get hit with the multiplayer thing. Like, shoot, even
That sucks.
Metal Gear Solid Delta is doing the same exact thing. Like, the game's out now, which I didn't have it in the segment of the show because I hadn't played the game. I'll probably get it at some point though. I just don't have it now. But like, the game's out now, and its multiplayer doesn't release until some point next year. So I don't know. That kind of sucks though. But I hadn't even really put much time in the Legends mode for Tsushima, to be honest, though. I was just that wrapped up in the single player campaign. So I don't know. I'll probably mess around with it whenever it does happen to come out some point next year, though. Because, I mean, what other PS5 game I'm playing at that point, though? But yeah, overall, cool stuff. I'm just glad to see it as a mode. I just wish the execution was better as it was, it wouldn't be ready to go at launch, but whatever. So yeah, so that's it for Ghost of Yotei. We also managed to get a new trailer, story trailer for Ninja Gaiden 4. Oh shoot, that game's look freaking clean, Steven. Clean as crap. I'm like, oh shoot. I love that the fluid animations and from the battle, the combat, everything that they had to showcase for it though. And I was like, man, Ryu Hayabusa, he always looked cool. And he always looked like a mean bad mamma jamma though. But like, man, you put a little bit of that platinum
I
flare up on that mess. I'm like, goodness.
well, I have not played an Ninja Gaiden game yet, but once they actually finally patch Ninja Gaiden Ragebound for Switch 2, I'll play it.
Yeah, no,
That still pisses me off.
they
That
need to
still
they need
really
to
pisses
honestly
me
do
off.
that because that's what held me from not even buying it. Yeah, I guess I could buy it on PS5 or get it on PC, but I was really dead set on picking that up for the Switch too. But I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting at this point though. But yeah, no, Ninja Gaiden 4. I think it's living up to all the hype. I don't really need to see anything else for it though. I'm just ready for October to come out so that way I can just get my hands up on this game because it seems like it's gonna be one of those well stylish, high action game like a Bayonetta that you're kind of used to playing within most platinum games though. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game. That game looks really clean. Of course, you had another Call of Duty trailer. I don't think anybody was surprised when they saw that. I mean, it kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
However, Indiana Jones is getting a new DLC for something about the Giants. And I think that DLC is supposed to be coming out within the next few days. It's not even going to take that long for it to actually come out, though. But while I was looking at that DLC, I was like, wait a gosh dang second, though. At the very tail end of that trailer that they had prepared for us, there was a little treasure chest. And you had Indiana Jones just kind of ducking and weaving, avoiding axes and everything. That chest opened up. And we finally got the confirmation that yes, they're actually putting out that Indiana Jones game on the Switch 2, but it's going to be coming out in the year of 2026. I was like, dang, I wish it would have been ready right now though, because I was like, oh man, I feel like that's one of those games that probably could really shine pretty well on the Switch 2, considering what's currently out right now. There's not like a whole bunch of stuff though, but like there's a decent bit of stuff
I
out
guess
there
so,
though.
yeah.
But no, I really do want to get this game as well. But the big question is where I get it. Do I get it on PC, PS5, or do I be patient enough and wait to see what it happens to turn out to be on the Switch 2? Because if memory serves me right, I think even that disc that they put out for the PS5, even if you bought it physically, I don't even think the full game is even on that disc. So for all sakes and purposes, no matter where you're getting this game, is basically treated like a digital game. I don't know if they would treat that any differently on the Switch 2. I highly doubt it. It'd probably be a game key card though. So this kind of, it comes down to personal preference of where I would like to play or have the most enjoyment out of it, though. So right now, I'm leaning on PS5 if I want to get it real soon. But if the schedule stays full and then they say, oh, this game comes out on Switch 2 in about the month of March or something, and nothing else is going on, I might still be patient enough to wait for that Switch 2 version. We will see, though. But in terms of the DLC, it's associated something with the Giants or whatever it was called, though. But yeah, that
I
literally comes
haven't
out
played the
this
game. Have
week.
you?
I hadn't played the game. I just said I don't have the game.
Oh, sorry, I might have missed that.
No, I
I'm
was
sorry.
saying.
I will admit, I'm doing something while here.
Yeah, no,
Sorry, something
I was
important.
saying, yeah, I really would like to have this game. It's just a matter of fact, when do I pull the trigger on it? In terms of like, having enough
Probably
time
when
in
the
my
Switch 2
schedule, but
version
yeah,
comes out.
it may be at that point, and then I'll just finally make that decision. Is the Switch 2 version good enough? It's not like a stupid amount of storage, yada yada yada. Because otherwise, before they made that confirmation just now, I was gonna lean on getting it on PS5. At first, it would have been only on PC because would it be in the Xbox game or whatever? Though it would have only been on PC. Then they confirmed, oh, there was a PS5 version in the works before the game even came out. I was like, oh, good. I'll just wait for that. Now, finally, we got a trailer and saying yes, it's coming out for Switch 2 now. I'm like, shoot, where do I get this sucker at now? But anyway, though, not a bad trailer. Not a bad trailer. And then, lastly, I would say this was probably the game trailer of the show. The game of the show, really, to be honest. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Now, look here. I'm not a big fan of Lego. I know Steven over here is. And he can go all up in this mess here in just a bit, though. But I do like myself some Batman. Like, look, y'all know me by now. I'm a big Marvel fan and stuff like that, though. Love my Marvel games and everything else, like my Spider-Mans and stuff like that. Looking forward to my Wolverines and stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy was a great game and stuff and such. Like, I love the heck out of my Marvel stuff, Marvel games, my media, comics, whatever, the movies, all of that stuff, though. But in terms of DC, I don't have a strong affinity for it, though. But one character I do have a strong affinity for is Batman. And based upon all of the stuff I heard about this game, it's pulling inspiration from the comics, the cartoon shows, including the movies. And I was like, dang, there's a lot of source material that's up in this game. And I was like, hey, if there's gonna be a Lego game that's gonna get my interest, it would be Batman. It's always
Yeah,
like that world.
it's specifically based off of, I think, seven movies.
Which honestly, that's a lot. And I was like, I don't know how, because I mean, even looking at this gameplay footage and stuff they managed to showcase off, it seems like the world
Well,
is actually
because
fairly big as well. I was like, gosh,
it
dang.
is clear it's clearly got stuff from the new movie, The Batman, but it's also got the Christopher Nolan trilogy. And if I had to make a guess, like, it has like Dark Knight and all that. And if I had to make a guess, it's probably gonna have stuff from the Michael Keaton Batman, which is like the one, that's like the older one with like Danny DeVito as the Penguin and like Jim Carrey Riddler.
Yeah.
Well, that's I think what no, that's slight. The actor for Batman has changed multiple times, but it's the Batman movies from like the 80s and like early 90s.
Yeah, which those movies they're good, they're solid. Ain't nothing wrong with them. The Dark Knight ones are really cool. I always like those, but no, I like how they pulled a little bit of something from pretty much most of all of Batman's history from no matter like which time period you were with, whenever you were watching whatever kind of source of media for Batman, there's probably gonna be a little bit of something here in this game here for you as well. And Lego games always kind of they might be some hits, misses for some people though, but it really comes down at the end of the day in terms of like the source material where it pulls from and whether or not you really love where that game is pulling all of its stuff from. And I think Batman has enough going on. There's obviously some darkness, but with it being Lego, there's also going to be humor to kind of balance it out, though. So I think it's going to have a pretty good yin and yang. And at first, I was thinking, I don't know if I would get this, but then the more and more I keep looking back at some of these trailers, I'm like, you know what? I might actually get this mess, though. But they did say it's coming out in 2026, so we do have to play a little bit of a waiting game, though. So that's just kind of all the information we know about right now, at least for the most part.
Yeah, we don't know much about this game. But it's gonna be a Lego game, and like the last Lego game they did, which is the Star Wars one, look, it was really fun to me. I didn't beat it necessarily. That's just because I had a lot of other stuff going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like they've been putting a lot of production value into them recently, and a lot of love for the series that they do. So like the fan service for Batman fans is gonna be insane, which I'll
Oh,
definitely get a kick out of most of it.
yeah. And I like how he's just like using different things like that grapple hook and stuff. Like you can just like string people up and just knock people out. I don't know. At times, yes, the game's gonna look goofy because it's technically a Lego game at the end of the day, though. But I don't know the way how they got some of those trailers built and such. I was like, dang, this game is probably gonna be really good. I'm just saying though. So you did say something about how there may be a co-op thing, but I don't know. I was looking at this. I was just thinking it was just mostly gonna be a single player campaign or something.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be co-op. It says something about like 7 different playable partners.
How you not know you're kind of switching back and forth between using Batman as some of them and switching as one of those other characters at a different point in the game.
It might be, but I think it'd be stupid if there's no co-op. Even the new one, Skywalker Saga, had co-op.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, because
Like
as big as this world is, hopefully, maybe you
the
get
like
something out
the
of it.
Lego games, the Lego games are all about the co-op. You kind of have to do the co-op.
No, yeah. No, I was just looking back at some more of this footage though. Like, ooh, gosh, like some of these city streets though. Like, and I'm gonna like the music and stuff. I always like the music and stuff from some of these Batman games though. It's just gonna really come down to like how I guess how fluid some of the fighting scenes and stuff like that kind of play out as you're doing some Lego, um, playing as some Lego dudes. Cause I'm actually looking over here at my collection. I don't think I ever bought in a single Lego game before. Period. I always remember seeing people play it, seeing trailers for other games, yada yada yada. Like the most recent one comes to mind is that Horizon game that's also available on the Switch. Funnily enough, but
Yeah.
if I do get this, this would technically be the first one. Hmm. But yeah, we'll wait and see though. But that was probably the most exciting, but yet a little bit shocking of a game. It's just kind of funny with it being a Lego game out of all games. That was like, yeah, that happened to be the the game of the show, to be honest though. But yeah, was there anything else, Steven, you wanted to say on that?
Not necessarily. It's a fun looking game, but we really do not know anything about it.
Yeah. No, yeah. So yeah, so that's about it. So overall, not too bad for a Gamescom. Felt like we could have had a little bit more brand new announcements though, but with it only being like, gosh, not even like a couple of months after Summer Game Fest and all of those events that happened in the month of June, kind of makes sense why you wouldn't have like a crazy amount of announcements happening roughly around this time period though. But yeah, so I think that's about it in terms of all the stuff we wanted to talk about with Gamescom. So now we'll go ahead and move over to the next part of the show. Because now we just got a few different things to talk about now with just some Nintendo related news. Because we did manage to get the newest announcement brought up for a new GameCube game coming over to NSO. It's available now. None other than my little tiny old boy, Chibi Robo. And you know what? I'm so glad that this is available on NSO because man, if you ever done any kind of GameCube hunting in your collections and stuff like how I have, this game's stupidly expensive to get on the GameCube. It might have went down now in value now that you have a readily easy way to play this. Ain't still cheap. I mean, you still got to buy a $450 console though. But in comparison, just to buying one single game that's just been really bloated up, I'm just glad that a it's a thing. I'm just glad, and I put in like maybe a couple of hours at this point, not too much time, but just enough to kind of be familiar with this boy and finally understand these memes though. But Steven, have you started playing this game at all? At least just a little bit?
No,
Goodness.
I'm sorry.
I'm kind of surprised because you said that you were looking forward to when this game came out, and then I guess you just never got around to putting in a little bit of time, huh?
Not yet, no.
It's kind of funny because I think this would be one of those games you will actually vibe with because I feel like there's like a lot of
I know.
I don't
It
know
will.
if Pikmin came out before this or after this, but I feel like there's a lot of Pikmin related.
Definitely before.
Okay, so
Pikmin came out before.
yeah, so there's a lot of Pikmin inspiration up in this game in terms of like the day cycles, having like limited resources like that battery, like you can only move so far before you have to plug yourself up into a wall outlet. That does get a little annoying, a little, after a period of time and stuff. I feel like that's the main thing that holds me up. But you gotta be strategic about where you're going, how you're getting there, and how quick you kind of do it, though. But overall, it's a nice little gem of a game, if I do say so myself. I'll probably put a little bit more time into it in the future, though. But yeah, happy to see my flaming boy Chibi Robo finally making on the scene. We ain't ever getting a brand new game, probably ever. But hey, I heard a lot of good things about this classic one. So if you have NSO expansion pack, hey, give it a try. Give it a try. All right. Now we also got to talk about some Pokemon Legends Z updates because I can't remember if I talked about some of these new Mega Evolutions that we got officially confirmed. Should I mind you? Because we did manage to get news about Mega Dragonite, which that's been around for a little while now. But we did manage to get two new Mega Evolutions here as a late. Mega Victory Bell, which looks like a hot mess. I don't know who came up with that design. Like, gosh dang, that thing's atrocious. But then on the other side, you got Mega Halucha. And that's my Chabu man right there. That's my El Matador and stuff like that. That dude started blowing up with memes left and right. He didn't do anything crazy with his design, though. But he looks, more like a, Mexican wrestler. And you know
It
what?
looks more. It looks more like the Gen 6 Megas, where it's just the original design but better.
Basically. And you know what? I'm okay with this boy though, because he was always a cool boy from the beginning though.
Yeah.
So the fact that he gets something a little bit stronger, I'll take it. I'll take it.
And I'll be the contrarian. I like what they did with Mega Victory Bell. I think it's funny. And Victory Bell's never really been all that interesting. So guess what? Now it's more interesting.
My thing is like where the freak they're putting this thing's eyes at? Like I don't get this.
What do you
Like
mean
that,
where they're putting its eyes at?
yeah, like its eyes is like barely above its mouth. They're like barely visible, and then you literally have the thing choking its neck out,
Yeah,
and
because
it
it's
looks
trying to
like it
stop
could
the
barely
poison.
breathe. I was like,
It's trying
bro,
to stop the poison flowing.
stop the poison or stop it from eating something. Now I don't know.
No, that's what we know. It's trying to stop the poison in its belly from like coming out.
Gosh, like it
It's
has to
like,
choke
and
its
it's
own self out. Like oh
yes.
gosh, that's
All of
actually.
the megas are dark. All of the mega. Do you not remember some of those megas?
I think I
The
remember. I think I
descriptions.
remember seeing some of the descriptions was kind of dark though.
I
But
forget.
you look at Mega Halucha and Dragonite, they look perfectly fine. Well, I wish the wings on Dragonite were on its back and not on its head. But other than that, they look perfectly fine.
Well, that's because Victory Bell was always a weird design. It's like a Venus flytrap looking thing. People act like Victory Bell was their favorite Pokemon that got ruined. It's good. It's good now.
I don't know if it was ever good to begin with. Let's keep it a $1.50. I mean, at the end of the day, it was just a
I'll
Venus
keep it.
flytrap. But
Yeah, I'll keep it a $1.50. It's good now. I think it was kind of always a mid Pokemon, and then they made it good. So yeah.
I don't know. We'll see when them stats come out though, because I don't know. I feel like poison type
What
Pokemon
do you
always
mean the
get the.
stats? I'm not talking. I thought we weren't. The stats are not going to matter in a real time like fighting, real time game.
Oh, it will be at some point because these Mega Evolutions they're gonna roll over the
Uh,
champions. These
okay,
Pokemon
but
won't be
people.
done in this game.
Yeah, but people are not going to remember these Pokemon primarily for their stats. People remember these Pokemon for their designs and
Oh
how
yeah, say that again.
memorable
The
they
Mega
are.
Garchomp, man. Mega Garchomp, that dude's sick. Anyway, though.
I love Mega Garchomp, yeah, but like he's not very good.
uh, well, anyway, though. Overall, I'm okay with 2 of the 3 designs over here. Victory Bell, like gosh dang, I don't know what they were thinking about on that though. But hopefully we have. You said something on the lines of we might be expecting around 20-ish or so brand new megas.
20,
So
around 26 maybe,
yeah,
according to nothing at all. No rumors at all. 26 is what I'm expecting.
okay. So we'll leave it at that.
Which
So if we got 3,
we're gonna
we. Mm,
we're gonna get one like every week probably right before launch. And then there's gonna be 10 kept secret. Which what Mega Hall Lucha was just revealed like this week really.
or this past week, but yeah.
So we'll definitely see more megas soon, which I'm excited. Personally, going off of nothing at all, what Pokemon do you think will get megas?
Um, I think it goes without a given since we know how Legends Arceus kind of work. All 3 of your starters, so for Alligator, Meganium, and Embor, all 3 of them will probably have megas. I think that's a given. But
Probably.
outside of them 3, I couldn't say or make any other kind of predictions. It kind of makes sense for Charizard to have at least 1 more to balance out the X, Y, and what would be a Z. But I don't know. Something my gut saying that
That would
probably
be too
won't.
much special
They
treatment.
probably won't. That probably won't be the case. I kind of wish it was, but it probably won't. Um, Nah, I can't really say any other Pokemon that I feel like really needed to have a Mega Evolution. We'll just see kind of what they come up with, though. But
All right.
all right, well, yeah. So I guess
I'm
that's
not gonna say my thoughts because I know which megas are happening.
yeah. No, you little turd nugget over there. Like, come on, man.
Well, I didn't know when I looked at the leaks that they were gonna be real.
Yeah, yeah. No. You know how Pokemon leaks are, especially when they come from a certain account. You know how good and well that the reputation on that. Anyway, I'll leave it at that though. So for yeah, I'm trying to stay in the dark as much as possible because I really do want to kind of go into this game really fresh, or at least for the most part though. But yeah,
All
so
right.
not too bad of a start, which was a little bit better, but not too bad of a start in terms of confirmed Mega Evolution. So we'll see by the next episode they give us any more. Lastly, this is gonna be the last topic of the show. We did manage to get a Nintendo Direct. It's not the Direct that everybody was thinking we're gonna get, but it was Kirby Air Riders.
Yeah,
And
baby.
man, I remember sitting here. I was watching the little presentation with Sakurai stuff. Sakurai said he had 45 minutes of stuff to showcase us. And I was like, dang, I'm not used to these long old presentations since the last time he did those ones with Smash Brothers. And I was like, oh shoot. I was like, he must have a lot to talk about in this direct though. And I felt like he kind of could have condensed it a little bit better, but I don't know. It's always entertaining seeing Sakurai talk about stuff in general
Yeah,
though. So I
like
guess it was all fine for all sakes and purposes.
him talking about how it's quote unquote basically Mario Kart is really funny to me because he of all people should know, like that the game is not like Mario Kart at all.
Hmm.
I like seeing just like the development stuff, like him, the fact that the fact that Nintendo themselves are the people that wanted him to make a new air ride. Like it's always interesting. He definitely gives us more details than most other developers do about the creation of the games. Why do you think Sakurai is so well liked and so remembered? Because people really do, it's really interesting for people. Like Sakurai and the way he develops games is unlike anyone else. So, this game, and that's not even talking about the game yet. This game is so charming, everything about it.
No, yeah, it is really charming. And basically, when they showed off this whole entire presentation, there was the 2 main modes. There was the air ride mode, where you just do your standard races, and then you have your city trial, which it seemed like he leaned a whole lot more into the city trial stuff. But at least in terms of the air ride stuff, I don't know. Maybe I might lean a little closer to liking the racing side of the thing, though. But he did manage to confirm that while, yes, the GameCube original was mostly all with 1 button, they did manage to put 2 buttons up in here. And it's not just mainly going to be Kirby racing around as the primary character. You got other characters now with Meta Knight, King Dedede, and a handful of other Kirby games throughout the history as well that are going to be all playable in this game. So that's really cool. You don't have to just stick
Get
to the
Chef Kawasaki.
Man, that old chef man. No, I remember that dude. Wasn't he like a
I
boss
love
in one
it.
of them the other previous Kirby games or
He's
something?
he's usually a mini boss, and then other than that, like he's in the anime, and I like him in the anime.
Okay, yeah. No, I think I remember some of those mini bosses where he was prevalent around those times though. But yeah,
Yeah,
um,
older games.
yeah. So overall, I like the presentation. I like the direction. This is basically the Kirby Air Ride that you known and loved if you played the GameCube original. It's just expanded upon and broadened a little bit more. He went really in depth when it came to the city trial and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. That's cool and all though, but yeah, some of those challenges that you're able to do for city trial, it seemed some of them seemed fun. Some of them kind of seemed like a quick throwaway. You were having a tough time trying to wrap your mind around like whether or not you get the advantage or the disadvantage based upon if you know what kind of event that you're working to build your ride for, or
Yeah, because I feel like it could be slightly like kind of imbalanced depending on like who's got, depending on like I don't know, because like it definitely has that like worriness. Like I'm kind of worried that it could be like very unbalanced and feel like you play the entirety of the 5 minute city trial and then an event happens that you're completely unprepared for and you lose, which in my opinion could probably depending on the person could feel like random bullshit. But like city trials only 5 minutes and it's gonna be really fun probably still, no matter what.
yeah, and obviously now that you have the advantage of being able to play against people, on the internet anywhere around the world, that should keep this game kind of running on for a good long hot minute. And I also kind of like how Sakurai brought up is like, hey, this ain't no Mario Kart, but the people from Nintendo came and approached me and was like, hey, can you make another one of these new ones?
Yeah,
It's kind of shocking to actually have a brand new Kirby game, or not Kirby game, another racing game, a Nintendo racing game, all in the same year as a Mario Kart. Because when it's all said and done, we essentially had Mario Kart World, F Zero GX, like one of the best versions of F Zero out there, and a brand new Kirby Air Ride game, all coming out in the same year. That's a lot of racing from like three different genre or from three different other series. That's kind of crazy just to kind of wrap your mind around it, though. The fact
I
that,
like it.
that
And
that's where
then
we are.
I bet Game Awards is still gonna choose like fucking Forza slop,
More than
knowing them.
likely. Uh, well, hold up. I know we have like another Forza game coming, but I don't think there was one that's supposed to come this year.
Well, maybe
Right?
I don't know. I'm just saying that. Like, I don't think there was a Forza game that came out this year. I'm just saying stuff. Either way, though, a lot of good racing games. I'd say Kirby Air Riders does enough different to stand on its own. Like, it doesn't feel like any other racing game.
No, yeah, because it definitely does have its own unique charm, like the way how you round out quarters. You don't really necessarily drift, but you kind of like pause and rotate a little bit to redirect all your momentum and stuff. The fact you have to get these copy abilities to either knock stuff out of the way, knock your other competition out of the way. I mean, yeah, it does play drastically different from any other racing game. Like what you previously said, like it ain't no Mario Kart, it ain't no Sonic Crossword. Oh gosh, we could have talked about that in the show. Anyway, but yeah, it ain't no Sonic Cross World or anything like that. So yeah, it definitely has its own very unique identity. I feel like it's one of those easy to play kind of games, but in terms of mastering it, it's gonna take a little bit of time though. But nonetheless, though, the game was up for like demos and stuff at Gamescom and stuff. So yeah, from what I heard from people that went hands on with it, it seemed like they had a fun time and stuff. And interestingly enough, at the very ending of this whole entire direct presentation, it did seem like they were kind of teasing what could be a single player campaign, though.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
gonna see with that.
Yeah, and it wasn't much to go off of, but I don't know. It seemed like something a little bit more exciting because in the original Air Ride game, that's it. It was city trial, standard races, that was it. So even if they do manage to put a single player campaign up in here, hey, that's going to be a little bit of extra meat on the bone that nobody was really expecting. So that would be really cool. But then obviously that one last thing they hit us with was when this game is going to come out, because we didn't know when or even if it was still going to make that window for 2025. But rest assured you, they hit us with that release date. And it is coming out during the month of November, though. So, hey, somehow they managed to
Metroid,
pull it off.
Metroid Prime 4 found dead in Miami.
Hey, it very well could be.
That game's never coming out.
I don't know. But yeah, I was trying to figure out exactly what day it was. I think it's the 20th something, if memory serves me right.
The 20th? Yeah, it's a Thursday. It was just the 20th, to my knowledge. Either way, though, I don't know. Kirby has a lot of cool stuff. He went very in depth on the different events, and I'd say the racing mode looks so much better than it did in the original game. Fact that you now have a special meter and special moves just adds so much more layers.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, because I'm glad they kind of put a little bit more complexity up in there, because while yes, the one single button thing was, fine and simplistic at the end of the day, though, I do kind of like a little bit of complexity, which could, breathe life into a little bit of strategy and stuff, because I feel like you kind of need to have a healthy dose of that in terms of racing games, which kind of keep them all unique, though. So I'm glad Sakurai at least expanded upon it just a little bit more, though. And yes, I was right. It actually does come out on November 20th, though. So yeah, so we don't have to wait too much longer for this. And now that we know that this is coming on the 20th, I'm like, we're kind of running on a tight little deadline over here in terms of, when that Metroid Prime 4 release date's gonna come. Cause
So exactly what I just said.
yeah, I'm that was what I was kind of shocked with the most at the end of the presentation. I ain't gonna lie, I was still trying to digest all of that news with Kirby. But like when I saw that release date, I was like, "Oh dang, what does this mean for Metroid Prime 4?" I was like, "Oh shoot." Whew. But yeah, was there anything else that you wanted to bring up with Kirby Air Riders?
Not necessarily.
Alrighty,
It looks
well,
it looks fun. Yeah.
all right. If that's all you wanted to say upon that, then that's basically gonna do it in terms of all the topics I had to talk about within my ZardCast podcast. So, that was a lot. Somehow we managed to squeeze all that mess in 2 hours. Even ranting on about Bubsy and stupid Analogue 3D
Yeah,
over
dude.
here, but gosh dang, despite all of that, we still managed to shove it all up in this episode though. But yeah, no, it's a Labor Day weekend and stuff like that. I get to enjoy at least one more day off. I don't think you do, unfortunately, right?
I get out of work 2 hours early tomorrow.
It's better than nothing, I guess. Better
It
than
is.
nothing.
It is.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down because I got some shows to watch and try to enjoy the rest of this 3-day weekend though. But Steven, let the fine people know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Twitter at Steven Jr. 1231 or a collab channel I do with some friends on YouTube called Spaghetti Disco.
Alrighty, and that's gonna basically do it in terms of my ZardCast episode 110. So if you really like this, make sure you're gonna hit that like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related. I feel like talking about and discussing. If you happen to be one of my audio only listeners that happen to be listening to this on like YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, guess you can listen to me in the car, then just make sure to like the pod and give a 5-star review. Just let people know, hey, we're just a couple dudes that love to talk about things, all things gaming, a few pop culture stuff here and there when the topics happen to roll up in there for us to kind of give our 2 cents on whatever happens to be going around in the pop culture realm and all of that stuff though. But yeah, but overall, that's going to do it in terms of this episode, though. So remember, y'all, until our video I make next, until my next ZardCast episode 111, I'll see y'all later.